Yo, what's poppin' on my peeps? It is I, your host of the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for something different than one of Sara and I's no nights off shows. I'm joined by a special guest, the victorious one in my eyes, MLW's own Brett Ryan Gosling, friend of the show at this point. Brett, how you doing, pal?
Good friend of the show. You got a
Great. It is a good friend. I always say best friend at this point. Yeah, best friend of the show. I'm with it.
Yeah, things are good. Living life to the fullest. Wrestling's going fantastic at this point, so I really can't complain.
Yeah, it seems it. Seems it from everything I see on Instagram now. You're all over, and MLW too. You got me into it.
Yeah.
You know, like with what you're doing with the Rogue Horsemen, which we'll obviously get into, but it's a different. It's nice. It's pretty cool what you're doing over there. And you're gonna go into it. We're gonna talk about it.
We've come a long way since media law class.
We've come a long way since sitting in media law, learning about defamation and all that shit.
Yeah.
I just remember you showed and who?
Oh, I was saying when we went over like the Hulk Hogan Gawker case and everything like that.
Oh my god, bro, that was so funny. Like you and I feel like we're the only two people in the room that like God from another standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just yeah.
I will always remember when our professor brought up the case about Chris Benoit and Nancy Benoit, and the moment that his face popped up, you and I were both like, ooh.
Yeah, bro, like no one got it.
Yeah.
And only people in the class we got, everyone's like, okay.
Yeah. Like, what?
And we're just like, this is happening. We're talking about this right now. Okay, college is a cool place.
Yeah.
College is a very cool place.
Wild.
Yeah, and I remember you showing me your move. I'm pretty sure the move you showed me that was like your finisher at the time was an RKO into a bank statement of sorts.
Oh, yeah. So I was doing it's kind of similar to what Janai Kai does now, but it was a cutter, and then I roll back, and then I'd like choke the guy out by like wrapping, like it was like a dragon sleeper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's crazy, yo.
She is.
She's
cool though,
dude. Crazy shit. But yeah, dude, MLW. Let's just hop right into it because I want to hear about this. I want to hear your experience there. You joined there and are crushing it with the Rogue Horsemen. And I don't know. I love watching it every week or when every show comes on because I feel that I'm looking into the past a little bit.
Yeah.
With what you're doing.
It's funny because I was talking with Carrie Morton not too long ago, and we were kind of just like talking about like the contrasts and the comparisons between MLW and like an NWA, since we're both working in both of those companies respectively. So I was telling him like, oh, it's a very much like when you're working at NWA, it's a very much old school like 80s style. In MLW, you get more of like a hybrid ECW-esque style of wrestling there, late 90s type. There. It's very hard-hitting, pretty much balls to the walls, crash course type of wrestling. It's great. I mean, you get something for everybody. You know, you got your Lucha Libre fans, you got your deathmatch fans, you got your hardcore wrestling fans. What else? You got your strong style fans, your technical wrestling fans. Like, there's really something for everybody on that show, and that's why I think I fit in so well. Is because my style is, it fits into the every style type of template that they have going on there.
You do. I would agree with that. That you do fall into every little bit there, not just the in-ring style, but how you are. You're just in everything. And I kind of want to say like a Dennis the Menace type of thing, where every time they bring you up on commentary, it's like, oh, Brett Ryan Gosling's here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Like, what are you gonna do?
You're the only one that's chanting "yeah" whenever I walk out.
Yes, you're gonna realize here, No Nights Off, Sara and I love the heels. All right, we love the heels.
It's a good time. I'm grateful for everything that I have there. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever say that I could be a horseman. Never did I ever think that that moniker and me was ever gonna come together in fruition. But it's awesome and it's very surreal, and I'm very grateful for every opportunity that I've gotten so far.
Yeah, they're really you're really getting a great presentation. The cool thing is too, you're working with the Andersons. I mean,
Yeah.
the obviously we know the connection there, but what are you getting from them that you wouldn't really get from anywhere else?
Well, the thing that I love about the Andersons is that they stick to their guns. They're very much old school style. Uh, Tag team wrestlers. So Brock obviously has the teachings from his dad and everything. And CW has that old school flavor, but also knows what it takes to be in a company like MLW because he was
Mhm.
there when it originally started. He was a founding member of the Extreme Horsemen, and like I said, back in 2003, MLW was like very much like ECW esque, having a lot of names from ECW coming over and having that crossover, like Terry Funks. Uh, you have Steve Carino, who, funny enough, I've been compared to a couple times in MLW, but it's
I don't know
cool
about that.
because CW has that old school mentality, but knows how to bring it into a new generation type of feel, and he's showing that to Brock, and it's pretty cool to see. Every time they come back from matches, like CW is always like opening up the playbook and being like, okay, this is what we could do better next time. This is what you did great. Everything like that. He's constantly teaching Brock, and that's awesome.
Mhm.
And then we can't forget about Bobby Fish, because Bobby Fish is
I was
like,
gonna ask about him. I was
yeah,
gonna ask about Bobby Fish because I'm
he,
fascinated with that throw in.
yeah,
I didn't expect that, but he flows in well. He really
very.
does.
We all get along very well. That's the good thing, and we're all having fun, which is what the whole purpose of pro wrestling is. The good thing about all those guys is that all of them have their own career accomplishments, respectively. But at this, and then here comes me, who is only coming from the Indies, had no prior experience in any other major company, and they just welcomed me in with open arms, and we've all gotten along from day one. It's pretty surreal.
It is a surreal. It's a really cool experience. Like to see you with them, and I I love how you just cause chaos out there anytime you go with them. It's one of my it's great, and it's been really cool to see that. I didn't expect that to see on my bingo card that
Yeah,
you being in the as a horseman, you know.
yeah. Same
Um
here.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you're with them obviously in the Royal Horsemen, but the other talent that's on the roster as well,
Mhm.
working with them, there's and I describe this to anyone who has no idea in my world because in my world, friends and family, I'm
Mhm.
the only wrestling guy here.
Yep.
So when I have to make those comparisons to them, the best way I describe it is it's a really healthy balance between veterans who have been there
Mhm.
and young guns who are trying to make a name. And
Yeah.
it has a yeah, and there's just a healthy mix there.
Especially in MLW. That's the cool thing, is that you have a lot of guys that have come from the New Japans, the WWEs, the AWs, any major company. You've had them come in to MLW, and in all honesty, the best thing about it is that MLW gives them a fresh coat of paint, and they revitalize a lot of different careers. I mean, just look at Riddle for example. He just won the world title, and that was something that he wasn't able to achieve 6 years ago. He leaves MLW, comes back after traveling the world, doing amazing things with other companies, and then he's putting on one of the best matches with Satoshi Kojima, which never in my wildest dreams
Legend.
would think. Like, oh yeah, I'll be sharing a locker room with Satoshi Kojima, Minoru Suzuki, like all these Japanese legends. Like I said, the word surreal is gonna come up a lot during this
Mhm.
because there's no other way to describe it.
Yeah, feels like they're looking outside looking in. That's
Yeah.
a good way to describe it. Um, yeah, the Japanese guys are crazy. Like, you see yourself ever going to Japan?
Oh, I want to. Like
Yeah.
that's bucket list stuff. Like I am so fascinated with the Japanese culture, and I want to see any Japanese company just live because I want to experience that audience, because that audience is so different from like an American audience. They very much treat it like a sport, and that's the cool thing about it. So there's a lot more respect that goes into it, and it's also just a very vastly different culture. Having friends like Anthony Green that have gone over there and just describing some of the culture and everything, it's kind of wild, and it's something that I want to experience for myself.
Hard hitting. You're gonna get hit a lot, dude.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are like that in MLW already. And it's not even the Japanese guys.
Dude, yeah, Mads Kruger scares the living shit out of me.
Now imagine how I felt looking up at that.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you get in the ring with that dude? And it's like, yeah, we're gonna go. I would be shitting bricks, man.
Yeah, he's an intimidating MFer for sure. He's intimidating as shit.
What was that match like?
That Gravity Gamble match?
Gravity Gamble match, yes. For anyone who didn't know. Yeah.
I knew that it was magic from the moment that it was announced. I knew that everybody involved was going to make it into something beautiful. And man, have I never seen carnage like that in a wrestling ring ever in my life. Just some of the feats that you saw, like you never see some of those things. We very much took a match type that was brand new to not only our audience, but the entire world of professional wrestling, and we made it into something. People, when they think of Kings of Colosseum 2025, they're going to think of the Gravity Gamble match and how it set the tone for the rest of the matches that precede it.
You definitely set the tone for sure. I liked how you started the show. And one thing about the match that I liked was that, yeah, you didn't know what briefcase held the title opportunity, but the build to it. I love the build to it. I mean, obviously, your moment with a briefcase is LOL funny. I'm sorry, but it was I laughed out loud. But the build to it was something that was.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing. Like people are like immediately think like, oh, it's like the Feast or Fire match, but it's so different from that. And like the only reason that people compare to it is because there's multiple briefcases above the ring. Like that's really the only synonymous thing that you have with it. Because let's just compare and contrast for a second. It's like you look at that match and it's like there's title opportunities in each briefcase, and then one of them you get fired in. This you had barbed wire, staple gun, thumbtacks, an empty briefcase, and a world title contract. Like there's a gamble for climbing the ladder and grabbing one of the briefcases. Like it's not it you have a 3 in 4 chance of getting something good in Feast or Fired. You have a 1 in 5 chance of getting something good in the Gravity Gamble, which I think those odds are even crazier, especially because you implement tables, barbed wire, thumbtacks, staples, everything. Like it gets gruesome, and that's the real gamble of it all.
Was that the most gruesome match you ever been in your life, in your career?
That's definitely the one that's hurt me the most. That's for sure. That's for sure. I felt that barbed wire hit my back, and I immediately like flung up from the ladder because I did not want any of that touching me. I mean, we talked about it before we came on, but like my ear, like it's hard to see now, but my ear is black and blue from just a chair being thrown at my head. And then going through the table, like I mean, I've gone through the table plenty of times. Mr. Thomas is a tall guy. And then just
you wasn't even supposed to be in the match. You wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, trust me, I'm aware. I'm very much
asshole.
Sprung up. I was like, oh, when did this happen? But just Jesus, like I gotta give it to everybody that was in that match. Like I'm not normally one to give people their flowers, but I blown away when I'm looking down from the ground and looking up and seeing Matthew Justice just run along a ladder and spear Mr. Thomas through a table. That's insane, especially off a ladder, just for anybody that didn't notice that. No, I recommend that anybody that's watching this go and at least watch that match. Watch the whole show. But if you only got time for one match, watch that match. And I'm not solely saying that as an ego thing.
It would come off that way. I can see how people would say that here. So, but no, seriously, guys, watch that. It was an unbelievable start to the show. But not only that, I think it was an unbelievable tone setter for something to be done in the future too. You know what I mean? Like that, it set the standard. Like you guys set a bar for sure.
Yeah, that match is coming back for sure, especially after that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hell yeah. And I mean, you didn't get the title shot, and Matt Riddle's champion. Is that the next step for the Rogue Horsemen to get you some gold?
We're definitely looking for gold. That's the I'm not gonna say which one, but we're looking for gold, that's for sure. I mean, some people can kind of put two and two together, but I'm gonna let them think about that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, the team thing. All right,
Exactly.
when you win, the whole Horseman win. So I'm with that. I get you a lot, but no, yeah, and it's something from me as obviously the fan friend, to see you obviously do well, but I do want to see you win gold, and I feel like there is something there, and I would like to see it. But on your end, who is there that may not be Riddle right now, but someone that you want to get in the ring with that you haven't yet?
Matthew Justice. I mean, we talk about gold. It's like not only is it like the open weight championship, but at the same time, he's one of those guys that like you kind of measure how tough you are when you wrestle him. And a lot of people don't think that I'm tough even after that ladder match. They don't think that. That's the thing. It's the charming good looks and the pretty face that just kind of spur people away from that. They don't realize that I have 15 years of hockey under my belt, and I've have plenty of street fights and all that stuff under my belt. But like I said, he's the bar when it comes to toughness in MLW. That's my personal opinion. Other guys that include that are like Akira and Cruel, who again we saw in the Gravity Gamble match. They're terrifying. I'll give it that. But I know that people will shut up about how they feel about me once I, not only last against Matthew Justice, but eventually beat him.
Yeah. Get on with him and then get rid of Boom-Aye. You've been up with
I've
them
been
for so long.
I've been trying. They make it very difficult. It's, Alex Kane's like talking crap about my cheap suit, and I'm just like, dude, like, you want to talk cheap suit? That's worth more than those crappy bell bottoms that you keep wearing, dude.
Saying that's what you don't wear cheap suits.
No,
I don't. That's not what Horsemen don't wear cheap suits.
Exactly.
Oh. You gotta get there. There was someone. Oh, you may open this with a lucha. There's like in the different styles, but to me, like the style that gets thrown in my face, and not in a bad way, is the lucha emphasis in MLW, because there's a lot of luchadors that they showcase.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that they can do some of the shit that they can in the ring.
It's a whole different style. It's kind of insane how different it is from like American pro wrestling, for example. Just like that WWE style, that television style that you see a lot in America, and it's very vast and different from what you see in Japan. It's like that's the beauty of it all. It's like all these different styles of pro wrestling. Like people are like, oh, styles, like how different can they be? They are different, and I don't want to disclose like all the behind the curtain stuff when it comes to lucha libre, but it's a huge difference than anything that I was taught throughout my entire career. So for anybody that like watches it, like I am amazed because just by the way they fly around the ring, the way that everything is paced, it's a non-stop action. And the fans love it, especially the ones in Chicago, because they love Lucha Libre there. I've never been the biggest fan of it, but at the same time, I have to respect it because they perform feats that I have never, ever in my wildest dreams could ever perform.
Speed is what comes to mind anytime I think of Lucha Libre. Like I am speed. They do they do. Got me thinking Lightning McQueen over here.
Exactly. That's exactly that fell through my head.
God, they have such a speed to it, and it's so incredible to watch. And there's such an emphasis on it with MLW that they not only there's the emphasis, but they do a good job showcasing it with the different luchadors that come all around the world. With commentary saying how they are some of the best luchadors, not even that, but best wrestlers in the world. And as the casual fan growing up, I would never hear these guys, but because you get into it more and you start to learn, there's multiple wrestling promotions and stuff outside in America and all, not even that, outside of America.
Yeah, we have a really, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful thing with CMLL. Like, they are by far the best company in Mexico, by far. So for them to not only have a working relationship with us, but give us some of their top stars. Like, I mean, Mystico is like the star in CMLL, and he's here as our middleweight champion. Like, that just goes to show the validity that a company like CMLL has faith in MLW, because they know the prestige that comes with holding that middleweight title. And not only that, you have Okamura, who goes down to Mexico a lot wrestling for CMLL, and he holds one of the tag team championships right now. We've had a very good working relationship with CMLL, and it's only going to go up from here.
It's good. I mean, I have the talent for it. It's awesome. We need to see more partnerships like that. Do you see yourself getting into a 6-sided ring?
Of course. But CMLL is 4-sided.
I thought they were 6-sided.
No, that's AAA you're thinking of.
Yeah. All right, well, not the first time I've been
I will say
like an idiot online, so.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Believe me. It's like, this is stuff that I'm still learning too. But I will say Mexico is not off the table for sure.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Well, I travel the world, dude.
You want to travel? Do you want to go every, like, Japan, Mexico? Yeah, like nowhere's off limits.
No, just at least one time, at least experience it. I'm very much one of those people that when I've been granted a lot of great things in my life. Granted, it's from my hard work and stuff, but I've been blessed to have what I have. I'm not gonna just sit at home and do nothing with it. I'm going to take advantage of any opportunity that lets me travel the world and see everything that's been created in this world. I mean, I thank God every day that I have this life, and I want to make the most of it.
Mm-hmm. Where's the coolest place you've traveled outside when you go to, like, traveling for wrestling? Where's the coolest place you've gone to?
Honestly, Texas is pretty cool. Like, that's like, we're talking like outside Northeast region, but like I love going to Texas. I really do, especially Dallas. Like, it's a beautiful state. It's very different than what we have up in the Northeast. Like, it always baffles me, like, growing up in the sticks and like growing up with like mountain region. We know how New England is. Like, everybody loves New England in the fall. Like, it's that type of
foliage,
mountain ranges, like that. So like, Texas is complete opposite. It's like completely flat, and just like seeing everything down there it's cool. I like traveling to the other side of the United States because it's so vastly different from where we grew up.
It is very different. I think it's a lot slower. Would you agree it's a lot slower pace down there?
Yeah, I feel like up in the Northeast, everyone's in a rush.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody's like very stressed. Like, go, 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 go.
That's how my day was here. That's how I felt my whole day here. Like, I mean, I'm stressed about chefs not answering me or not being there at the restaurant. And that's pissing me off. Meanwhile, you're getting a chair thrown out and you're like, you know what? It was a hell of a match. Like, that's the contrast that we're living in right now. But like, it is different. It is a fast pace up here. It is very different. That is cool. Texas is awesome.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things I wanted to see. Oh, while we're talking about Northeast, you were in the Limitless Rumble, and I didn't get to go. What was that like? All right, what was like the atmosphere? What was, just the experience being in that match? Because I'm so jealous that I wasn't there if it wasn't for work.
It's fun. It's like, it's good. So like, I didn't have much time in Limitless last year. I really only defended the Let's Wrestle title against Channing Thomas in a title for title match. and then I did the Limitless Rumble. I took a very much a step back from Limitless last year, but to come back in the Limitless Rumble and to have people still remember you, that's pretty cool. I enjoy the fact that I've left a lasting impression on some people up there. A lot of those people have been watching me since I was 17 now. Like before we even met in college, like a lot of people from Maine have watched me grow up before their eyes. So to get the reaction that I do when I walk through the curtain, it's very much different than how I get a reaction anywhere else. Not only the Northeast, just the entire country at this point.
They'll always remember where you came from. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's the first place I ever traveled to outside of like Southern New England.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Like even like outside, like when you were a kid and whatnot?
Well, just for wrestling in general.
Oh, wrestling in general. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Drove 5.5 hours to wrestle for a little company called IWE in Brewer, Maine. That's city side.
Oh, not even Bangor?
No, not even Bangor. Brewer, Maine, and it's literally the same venue that Limitless had their first ever show at.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's cool. You and Mr. John Alba up there in Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, actually, that's how I met John for the first time. Was through that company and doing those like first trips.
Oh, wasn't it? Really?
Mm-hmm. So funny enough, so I remember I had just met him, right? And I knew he was like a local broadcaster and whatever. And then next thing you know, I'm sitting in Molly Annity's class in freshman year. And then next thing you know, she's talking about John Alba. I'm like, is that the same John Alba that I just met this past weekend? And so I literally went up to her and talked to him. I was like, is he into wrestling? She's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, all involved in that stuff. And so like next time I saw him, I told him, I was like, yeah, I literally have Molly Annity's class. And he's like, really? He's like, let's take a picture and send it to her.
That's John Alba. That's John Alba to a T.
Yeah.
That's funny. Because I didn't know. I thought it was Limitless. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Yeah, we go back a long ways.
Wow. That's crazy. He saw that, and he was one of the first people that saw you. What are the people in Maine that watched you when you were 17? What do they say about you now when that you're killing it?
They said I used to be such a little shit. That's what they say about me. And now, like literally, so like perfect example. Like there's this one kid. His name's Isaiah. He literally was like 9 years old, cussing me out. And like I've literally watched him graduate high school now, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah. Like I remember I had an old title from my old wrestling character, and I remember like he was going through a tough time at school and everything, and so like I remember his face lighting up when I gave him that belt because I was completely done with it. I didn't need it anymore. Like, you have this, and
give it back.
Just lit up. Yeah.
It's the best. That's awesome. It's all about giving back to the fans. You gotta reward the fans.
I appreciate the fans for the most part. It's the fans that come and enjoy the show. It's the fans that get online and act as if they know a thing or two about wrestling that just rub me the wrong way. Like, man, do you like so many times do I read stuff about me and I'm just like, you're just an idiot. Like that's the moment. Like anybody that's like one of those wrestling fans that loves to comment about everything without having any shred of a semblance of knowing what it takes to do anything in the business, just stop. See, you're good, Pat, because you have me and you actually understand what it's like because I've told you how boring stuff is. You have a little bit of a perspective. Some of these people don't have any perspective on the inside of the wrestling business. They just read up on what's online and they're just like, oh yeah, like, oh, that makes sense. Well, let me go and take that article that I just read and I'm just going to copy and paste it onto this tweet that I'm going to say.
Yeah, they don't get it. I say it all the time. Some wrestling fans lack the ability to critically think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I go into all this stuff. I get into it sometimes with a chat section when we go live for No Nights Off with Sara. And The biggest issue I have is they say these things and it's very one dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look at it from every side, of the show when
A
it
lot, a
comes
lot,
to not only the wrestlers or, the behind the scenes.
a lot of guys don't. A lot of fans don't look at it from a business perspective and what's best for business. Joking enough, I know it's a pun from back in
Oh my God, that's a
2018.
cliche. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like it's a
Mm.
business. It's an industry. Like we're working on making more money. I don't care what people have to say about me online. It doesn't matter. I just care about lining my pockets with more and more cash. That's it.
That's what it's about.
Here comes the
Making
headlines.
bank.
Here comes the headlines.
Making bank. Dude, it'd be nice to get a headline, all right? At least someone's fucking watching. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that headline shit because I'm serious. Like, they lack the ability to critically think a lot. And I get into it with not only chat sections, but sometimes, just online with other accounts that they they get so passionate and they just see you as kind of like a monkey who can dance,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't think of the broader picture, like
Yeah.
that they're humans at the end of the day. And it just pissed me off 'cause it's like, yeah, you don't think of that, and you also don't think of it as a business. You're just thinking of a show. It's very
So
selfish.
I'll give you two examples of what I mean. So my name is BRG, and people are like, oh, he's an MJF wannabe. Why? Because I have 3 letters for a name. It's literally like
That's
the
tough.
amount of thinking that goes into people's heads sometimes. And like
It's
like
insane.
what do you want me to call myself? Like it's me. It's my name. It's my real name.
Can't.
Brett Ryan Gossam is my real name, no matter how much the people try to tell me that it's not. And then the other one, oh, because I have blonde, long hair now, all of a sudden I'm a Kyle Fletcher wannabe.
That's tough. I wouldn't have got that. Interesting. I would not have
Yeah,
picked that up like
yeah,
off the bat.
that's just the stupidity that I read online. I'm like, these
Really?
are so one-dimensional, dumb jokes. It's like people get a life or at least come up with something that I'll laugh at. Like I'm very self-deprecating. I can joke
You
about
have to
myself.
be. You have
I
to
can
be in
joke
this
about
industry.
myself. Some of these
Yes.
people give me a better joke. Give me something to laugh about. Because I literally will screenshot it and send it to my friends laughing about it.
Yeah. It's like it's okay. Like you pop me, whatever. But the thing that I don't get is like they just go after the hanging fruit, the low hanging fruit
Yeah.
that just would make it. That's crazy. The Kyle Fletcher,
Yeah.
I'm still hung up on that because, like, I'm sorry, if you want to go blonde hair, obviously you go with the Horseman comparison
Mm-hmm.
or, Cody Rhodes. Kyle Fletcher, I don't see any of you. Sorry, I don't.
Because he had the long hair at one point, the long blonde hair at one point, and then shaved it off.
Yeah, okay, like
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather if you want to get compared to him in the ring and the stuff, like cool. I mean, what he's doing great, but okay, all right,
Yeah.
whatever. That's what I'm saying. They're fickle pickles.
What
They're
can you
fickle
do?
pickles out there. What can you do about that? Um, Brett, thank you for coming and
Absolutely.
talking to us for a bit. And, obviously scheduling stuff. Like it's great to have you back in the yard. Sara obviously can't be here because I don't know if she covers the Patriots and she covers the NFL for her like full-time job.
Gotcha.
So she covers the Patriots, kills with that, and then they're like, listen, you're gonna cover the actual NFL playoffs too. So she'll be
Yeah.
back for another one. I want to get like a her in here because for the next one too. But before we go, I just have like a few. They do an interview I've seen. They do like the one word associate.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple for you
Okay.
because someone's got to make money themselves by
Mm-hmm.
posting shorts here. All right, so I'll start with the easy one, low hanging
Mm-hmm.
fruit itself. Heroic Horseman,
Amazing.
future.
Was that?
That's future. I would just say the future.
Yeah. Future.
Go there. Boomaye,
Awful.
Paul London,
Insane.
okay, insane in the membrane. Matt Riddle,
Bro.
I think that's the only word to describe Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff.
Amazing. Solely because he kicked Alex Kane out of MLW.
Yeah, that was a really fun. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
You must be thrilled about. You're
well,
obviously thrilled about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Kruger.
Scary.
I'll level that up with horrifying. And then to wrap up, Cesar.
He's a linguist. Quite the linguist.
Okay.
Very, very professional, too. Professional would be the other word. Stand-up guy, seriously. Like,
yeah,
one of the good ones, for sure.
The Lucha Underground, like what he did there, and then to bring it over, like I love what they're doing with whatever they have him doing. Like I like that. I like his place in MLW. Basically,
Yeah,
is what I like to.
I'm intrigued to see what's happening with him soon. There's some stuff on the horizon.
Oh man, I'm excited to see that. And yeah, it's awesome. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
I did want to ask because I just saw some of my notes
Mm-hmm.
because we were doing the one word thing. Bischoff, like I was gonna ask you, but like, dude, Eric Bischoff in MLW.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you get to talk to him at all? Like, what was your experience with him?
Yeah, I got to thank him for kicking Alex Kane out of.
Yeah, you did have to go up there and personally.
No, he's very nice guy, very straightforward. So, he's busy throughout the entire day because he's actually producing the show. So he's helping produce and everything. So he's a busy dude, but very respectful, very nice, does not look down on anybody. So I got nothing but good things to say. Unless you piss me off. Like, I literally don't have bad things to say about you.
Seems like it's very easy to piss you off, though.
It is, but it's normally from stupidity. There's a lot of stupid people.
Preach, brother. Like, friggin' preach. There's a lot of stupid people in this world.
Yeah.
Just have to navigate through them.
No kidding.
Dude, thank you for coming on
Absolutely.
for this special interview. And for anyone who's watching, thank you for tuning into this. Leave any comments below of what you wish I asked Brad or whatever. And you're also to tune in to the next MLW show. I'm blanking right now. So I'll let you just do the promotion for yourself. MLW, you know what? You're just used to a mic in your hand, so just go for it.
MLW Reloaded. If I recall correctly, it's supposed to be January 23rd. Double check MLW.com just to, see when that show's airing. But if I recall correctly, it's January 23rd. Don't quote me on that, because next thing you know, that's going to show up on the headline. BRG doesn't even remember what show he's on.
If that's how I get on Fightful, are you serious? Like, that would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
And follow is your Twitter? It's BRG.
Victorious_BRG.
Victorious_BRG. Go follow him on all social medias. And since this is Saturday when we'll be dropping this interview, we'll be back. The No Nights Off, we'll be back. Sarah and I will be back on Tuesday, obviously, for the Raw Rewind. So go check that out. And go check out all the other videos that are on the channel. We've been pretty good so far. This year's been a great 2025. We have this. We got other stuff on the rise. That's why you got to go check out the channel and follow us on all social media platforms in the description below. So thank you, Brett, for joining us. Thank you, peeps, for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you could do it. All you got to do is try. See you on Tuesday.